Coming to you from Rosemont, Illinois, at a One Digital local corporate office here. And just so you all know, that's really not a window looking out on the Wrigley Field, but a lot of us would love to have that. So maybe one day we'll have, down at Wrigley Field, we'll have an office overlooking the field. But let's get on the topic of the day. Topic of the day is our tip of the day. Tip of the day is about accident insurance. And you can see in my past videos, I had these things in my arms. Well, we're gonna go back and I'm gonna give you why it might be a good idea to get accident insurance. And it's open enrollment season. A lot of companies have, you got your health insurance, you've got dental, you have vision, you have life insurance, but a lot of you have access to an opportunity to buy accident insurance. You also have critical illness, hospitalization, but I highly recommend you taking those coverages. Critical illness, that's probably not as important unless you have a history in your family of cancers and all, along like us. My son Cal, when you all know about the Cal's Angels, ended up with leukemia, who we ended up losing him to leukemia, but that's a critical illness situation where you get coverage for that. If you're diagnosed with any like a critical illness, where you have the cancers or anything that a doctor would consider critical, you get coverage for that. But this one here, the accident insurance, we had going back to a couple years ago with the Cal's Angels. This is where it's the pitfalls of raising money for charity. This is what happens is we do this long bike ride. We call it the Cure Ridge ride, where this year was over 5 days, 1 day off in the middle. So basically over 4 days, 485 miles over 4 days, we're at these long bike rides, raising money for Cal's Angels and for these pediatric cancer fighters in our programs to fund the programs that we have. And it's kind of where people say, why you're ride that far, right? Well, it's about recreating what these kids feel, and it gives you that drive as a rider. I mean, we're talking pedal bikes. These are pedal bikes. They're not motorcycles, these are pedal bikes. And you're going 485 miles in 4 days. And it really gives you, while it's not as bad or as intense as what these kids go through, it gives you a feeling for what they've gone through. Well, we had a little bit of an accident. The guy in front of me flipped his bike when I did the one. We started out we were up in Mackinac Island, coming on down we were going down the coastline of Lake Michigan, and then we're going to go across to University of Michigan, where we pledged $500,000 to one of their programs. We're part of the Big Ten Cancer Consortium, and so one of their research programs, we're going to ride across. Well, at mile 278, the guy in front of me flipped his bike. I went over the top of him. It was in Muskegon, Michigan, going 11 miles an hour. Who would have ever guessed? You're going 11 miles an hour. What can happen to you, right? Well, I wasn't completely watching. We're making a turn, and I was kind of looking at, the scenery and all that. He flips his bike. I go over the top of him. He ended up with concussion and nerve damage in his hand. I ended up with, broken nose. The helmet broke my nose, separated the AC joint, broke a couple ribs, punctured a lung, and needless to say, we ended up in the hospital. Well, this is fallout still. This is a couple years later. Ended up with having the ulnar nerve came out of the channel. They had to put that back in. Carpal tunnel. They're saying that's probably not from the accident. It wasn't really covered. But we had x-rays and surgeries, and along the way I ended up getting a couple $100 back to help pay for the deductible and the copay. So that's my tip of the day, is you take those coverages. Oh, and another part of those coverages, you have in between all of those, you have your accident, critical illness, hospitalization. They all have a wellness benefit. If you go get your annual physical, annual dental checkup, annual vision checkup, you submit that in. I just submitted mine, had a full physical done as well, submitted mine in, and I have all three of those coverages. At the end of the day, I got $50 from one, $100 from another, $100. So I got $300 just because I had a physical, and then on top of that, $100 for the x-ray, another $100 for the surgery. My deductible is pretty much paid for. So that's my tip of the day. This is open enrollment season. Sit down, read your benefit guide, understand what you have available to you. And it comes down to, basically the education. So for employers out there, if you're offering these products and your employees don't understand it, you're not going to have the participation. What we do at One Digital, our biggest thing is employee education, employer education, so that everybody knows exactly what you have available, what it covers, what it doesn't cover, and what the cost is for each item. That's the One Digital way, and that's what we do to make sure our clients are on top of everything they have, and that they do offer a benefits program that attracts and retains your employees.